Hawksblood here, calling from the Big Island.
Hello.
Everybody, Tommy Hawksblood calling from the Big Island. Tina Bird, co-host. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Tina. Say hello.
Hi, guys. It's Tina Bird here from Southampton in the UK. It is good to see you all again this week. Sorry about the delay. Lots been going on. I've put a GoFundMe page out there. There's stuff going on with the Sun. There's stuff going on with 3i Atlas. There's a big disclosure big disclosure conference coming up in the UK in December. We'll talk about that later. So the GoFundMe page is out there. That's for hypnotic regression and a lie detector at the same time. I was shocked at the cost of it, so it is very expensive. So if you can help, GoFundMe page, Tina Bird, go out there, donate and like and share. Other things that have been going on, I've launched some new merchandise. You can find it on TA Bird or Basis TV Disclosure. You can find it on there, or Tina Bird. But yeah, we're putting it out there, guys. Come in, have your say. Let us know what's going on in your life. Tommy's broadcasting from Hawaii. Lots been going on in America with the American shutdown. We've also been hearing from Mars. The Mars rover took a picture of 3i Atlas. I said it would. So that's not a bad thing. So more evidence. And I think the European Space Station may have released a picture. I haven't seen it yet because obviously if America's still on shutdown, we're unable to get a convenient picture of that. So if any of you guys have any more information on that, that will be absolutely excellent. Apart from that, we'll find out what's going on in Tommy's life in a second. But yeah, so we've got international disclosure here in the UK. We do have them. Not very often. But guys, this is it. It's on Basis TV, but it's actually there. It's in Beauvoir Hall, Pusey, Wiltshire, SO95EQ in the UK. Go on to basistv.org for tickets, and there is a lot of the people, all the people that will be there speaking, some British, some American. I'm not sure if there's a Canadian in there. But yeah, so they will be speaking there in December. That's 12th to 14th in the UK, in the next county over to me in Wiltshire. So please, guys, go online, get your tickets, turn up, and you'll be amazed at what you see. Everyone's there. You can get your autographs, pick up your books, get some merchandise, and listen to new information being passed on. That's the main thing, main objective. What else? So Tommy's asked me to speak. We've had a request about the younger years of my life in abduction. Now, as you know, I've done a book called T.A. Bird, The Bonded, The Truth About Alien Abduction. I'll find it. There it is there on the shelf. And all it does is talk about my case. It's been looked at, examined. I've built medical evidence up for it. I've, done everything I can. So my next step, as I said, is going to be hypnotic regression with the lie detector test. And that's what the gentleman from the CIA has told me. That's irrefutable proof anyway. But there's no two ways about that then. And then, so looking into that, but the cost is absolutely horrendous. It's like £4,000 or £5,000, and it's not in my localized area of the country, so it means traveling to wherever, and then you've got to get someone who can hypnotize you while having it done. So lots of people have offered. Thank you very much for the offer. Keep the offers coming in, because if there's anything local to me, I might take it up. But again, it is the costing of everything, especially this time of year. As you can see, I've been quite red. I've not been well at the moment. I've been quite ill this last week. With like COVID rash and vomiting, so I've not been well. So I do apologise if I do exit early, but I'm getting redder by the minute again. But I don't know why that keeps happening, especially this week. So going back to my younger years, when I was little growing up, I was just part of a family, normal family, did normal things. Not particularly wealthy, but I loved my life, loved what we had. Nothing than any other child, so there was nothing particularly special about me. My mum came from a large family, as did my father. Very loving families, so there was nothing particularly different. That's all I can really say. There is nothing different I can pick up on. I'm just one of many millions of people out there. There's absolutely nothing special I can pick up because there isn't. I'm just a normal person. But my first incident that I remember going back, that I clearly remember, that's without I've never had hypnotic regression. I've spoken to a few people about it, like people it's happened to. So people have been in my situation, like Whitley Schreiber and Travis Walton. I've spoken to them personally, face to face, about that when I met them, and they both had the same kind of. And also Larry Warren, a very good down to earth chap. You know, genuine. So I listened to all three guys, listen to their experience and what have you. And so, yeah, I probably will do it, but it will only be once. But and it's at a particular point that I clearly remember, but then everything kind of stopped. That's the incident I want to go back to because there's a lot more going on there. And I'll probably glean a lot more information from that. Yeah, as most of the others I remember clearly. There's no two ways that you don't see something really close up and look in their eyes and not forget that. Believe you me. So yeah, it's pretty scary as a kid, and don't know what's going on. Like I said, this beam of light came through the ceiling, lit up the hallway, and there was a face in it the size of the hallway. It just went straight through the floor. It came towards me, just because I'd got out of bed, something woke me up. And people say, well, do you feel them coming on? Do you know they're there? I don't know. You don't know at that age. I didn't know anything existed at that age. So something woke me up. That's all I remember. Something woke me up, and I felt like hyper alert. You know, like you were listening for something. You know, you knew something was going to happen, or you knew, something had woken you up. So, I didn't have anything to be frightened of. I had my three brothers next door in their room. I was in the room on my own in my bedroom. My mum and dad were in their bedroom. So, and so there's a lot of people between them and the stairs. So there's nothing, no monsters under the bed. So, so it wasn't expecting that. It's just when you're frozen. So I'm just trying to, as an adult, you can say, well, that was this is this, because as an adult, as a child, you don't know. You just see what's going on in front of you. You don't know. You don't know aliens exist. You don't know if it's a UFO. So, I can't say, yes, it was a UFO. I don't know. It was a bright light that came through the ceiling. It was dark outside. It filled the hallway. It went through the floor, and there was like a face in the light. And the light and the face, what I can now say, looked like a cross between Socrates and Father Christmas. But as I tried to turn to run into my bedroom, the light shot forward, overtook me, and that was it. I don't remember anything. So and that was my first experience. And then, like, when you wake up, it's not something you remember instantly. It like takes you like a couple of seconds, or maybe a day, or later that day, or that's the best I can say that happens. But you remember. So yeah, and it just kind of melts away like every day does. As a child, you're 6, your memory's not that great. You get up, go to bed, go to school, get up, it's winter time, you put on a jacket, go to school. So it's it's a bit mundane, but other things excite you as a kid, like it's coming up for Christmas, or it's going to be bonfire night, something like that. Life takes over in general. So that's where it leaves you as a child. Well, that's how it left me. So just completely everyday normal things, nothing really out of the ordinary otherwise apart from that. So it's hard to say, but it's not till you are older that it affects you. It's a bit like an injury. So you can have an injury as a child, as a young adult, or a young person, but as you get older, it affects you more, and it comes to the point where you've got to get it out, and then you'll find for years, and all of a sudden something will trigger you, and it will come to the surface. And as it makes its way to the surface, you get out. Once you tell somebody, once you tell somebody, it's such a relief. You don't live with that every day, but once it boils inside you, it's like an anxiety that never goes away, and it's like something you got to do. Like you feel like you have to tell somebody. And once it's out, and you feel great. You're like, I can let it go now. Once you can let it go, you give it a while to simmer down. And if you want to pursue it, like I have, because lots of people ask me some great questions. So I must admit, people are very curious, and that's a good thing. That can only be a good thing. And like I say, I'm not here to make anyone change their minds. All I can say is this is real. It happened to me. But read. Everybody should get a bit of knowledge. You don't have to believe me. I don't, it's happening to people. Millions of people will tell you it's happening. Read. Find your own truth, your own knowledge. Read what you want. Like I say, people say, do you want to believe? I don't believe. Belief is an act of faith, and it's not an act of faith. It's something that's real. But read other accounts, read science. Science is a great pointer because science doesn't know. At best, science is a great guess. And that gives you like a parallel guideline to like work along if you want to find out the truth and find out questions. There are some amazing answers that science come up with, but there's loads of answers they don't. And that's where, like I like to not try and live. I like to find out. I love the science behind it. Please excuse me. I need a drink right off the mouth. So I love science behind it because even science doesn't account for it, but when you tell your account, it's something they can give. You can give them to look at, and abductees hold so much more information. All these little bits and pieces that do crop up can help. It can only help humanity towards the human race. Abductees do suffer. That's why I'm going to go down that road. I'm an advocate. We are all human beings together. We are brothers and sisters on this planet. But when an outside force impedes your airspace and takes us against our will, subdues you, puts you on some type of table and treats you like a lab rat and then puts you back. I don't know why they put you back, but I suppose, I'm not sure. They're seeing cotton on, there's millions of people missing. I suppose that's why. There's no one there. There's no recourse for abductees now, and there should be. And whether science meets science fiction, meets human fiction, we're there at the precipice. So it's like non-fiction. It's like moving forward. It's like science has learned from Star Trek, believe it or not, and innovation has also led from that and things that they can make and do. But every little thing that you can ask, a question you can ask, poses another question. And it poses people to look for answers or look for a truth. I just want basic rights for every abductee. Like I said, going back, as a child, if you're damaged as a child or a teenager or a younger adult, or you have your ovaries taken out, or you have your sperm taken out, or you have parts of your body taken out, or like your pelvis drilled with thousands of holes, that affects you. And the older you get, that fertility, you can't have a family, therefore you're never going to be mother, father, grandfather, grandmother. You're never going to have children. So that biologically affects you as a human. You don't have no future. That's the end of your bloodline, and that takes away your own humanity. And then the other side of this is it's painful. It's like as you get older, you're constantly ill. You don't have an immune system if it's been ripped down. You're constantly ill, and the pain that you are in, people don't understand the pain. If I strapped you to a bed and drilled like 1,000 holes in your pelvis and give it 10 years and you've had no treatment on it or anything, it's going to start to hurt when you sit down. It's going to start to hurt when you get up. When you walk about, you get pain. And people don't understand that. And, that's the situation I'm in. And there's no recourse for abductees. Absolutely none whatsoever. Unless you're wearing a uniform and someone's going to listen to you. I don't know what's the difference between me sat here and a military soldier. He tells you what he happened and I tell you what I happened. It's just that he gets the benefits to go along with it. He gets the help. He gets the health check and I don't. So there should be more done for abductees. And without the radiation issue, we But that also, as a child, these are side effects that you don't think of for things that happen to you, like your teeth being drilled. And as you're older, you still feel like they've been crumbled and glued back together by these metal ants, and people don't realise that's another side effect. When you do remember, it's not, it's horrifying events that you remember. It's not like, I went around my aliens today for a cup of tea. It's actually horrifying events. So please excuse me. But it's a horrifying events that happen to you. And that does make you a hard person. We had, I went to a Swansea UFO group in Wales, the other side of the country, from where I live, quite up a bit. And Yeah, they were very welcome, very nice people, and they had some great questions. Like I said, questions lead to other questions, and you find so much cohesiveness within UFO groups that from other, I hate that word, experiences, other abductees. But and it's only now, years later, that people understand, like people my age, like 50, 60, whatever, of the side effects from being abducted. They didn't realize that 30, 50 years ago. Perhaps so they didn't warn the public, but it can irradiate your skin, your family, your home, your food, the water, everything. So it doesn't go away. It can kill your loved ones, your pets, everything. So, there are other side effects apart from the psychological ones of, not being able to have children or losing children and then making children without your consent and then not letting you see them. So as a child, you have no control over any of that because you don't know what's going on. You don't know what's happening. You don't know what's being done to you. So, and you trust your elders, you trust your government to protect you from that, and they're obviously not doing that in any way, shape, or form. So there's another thing, but there's so many people that have come out saying, yes, this is true. Well, we know it's true. It's what you're doing now, what you're doing about the side effects, what you're doing about the public's health. What aren't you telling us? Like the 3-eye atlas, we get to that in a minute. But Thomas, if you guys have any questions, something you want to ask or answer, please contact. It's hawksblood1@aol.com. Please message Tommy, or you can come and join the show if you want to be on there. We can interview you, or you can interview me and Tommy. If there's questions you want to ask, buy my book. If you want to know, sit there, have a good read through. You can message me anytime. Come on to the show, and I will tell you. So I'm getting away from that. So growing up, it wasn't until I come out, and it wasn't particularly for anything to do with me. It was for another medical issue, and I wanted help. But once I got it out, a brilliant professional in his field, David Hodgson, is a UFO investigator, but he does abductions. He's an abduction specialist, and that's something I'm aiming towards, being an abduction specialist. I want to help other people, but I want to find out what's going on. Break it down. What are they doing to us? How are they doing to us? For what reasons? What residual markings left? Can you collect evidence? These are things you didn't know to do 50 years ago, let alone 10 years ago. So there's always breaking opportunities within the field. Since then, I've got myself together. I've researched. I've done what everyone said. I've read books. I've read papers. I've watched documentaries. I've spoken to people. I've gone to loads of events, spoken to people face to face on the internet, emails. I've got myself a little diploma, professional diploma certificate in ufology and investigation, QLS level 3. So I've done that. I'm looking at one to do I think it's exobiology or zoology, something like that. So that's probably my next one I'll be doing, just to further my knowledge within the field. I have spoken to other abductees. I speak to more abductees. They find it hard to open up, but when they do, you do get a lot more details. I'm not sure if they're remembering more, or they're awake. They seem to be awake in their own premises rather than on ships. When they're on ships, they sedate you. I mean, like the Travis Walton story, I 100% believe Travis, but I think they took Travis by mistake. If I think his is a really good special case to look at, because I don't think they took him for collection of DNA or anything like that. From watching the film, I spoke to Travis, read his book. I spoke to Travis again. It's definitely, I believe that they took Travis by mistake. So if mistakes are made, I think because he saw them, they went there. They didn't know what to do with him, so they just took him. Whether they thought they'd hurt him and took him. Perhaps, it may have been they've done it to save him. I don't know. Or they were just stuck and did not know what to do, how to handle human intervention. So many ways, he's a pioneer in that way. Apart from Betty and Barney Hill, who were the ultimate pioneers, I believe, in coming forward and telling the truth. And Travis has got so much evidence, like he said, about hypnotic regression. I spoke to him about that. again, it's the community coming around you. But I believe they took Travis by mistake. So mistakes can be made. Like they said, it's intent in origin. Who is doing it? Why are they doing it? How are they doing it? How far they come to doing it? Do we know that they're doing it? It opens up lines of questioning to get answers to. So like I said, the end result of any test, exam, or social experiment or scientific experiment is monitoring. The governments have overwhelming data now as evidence. Collective data now outweighs any other evidence by far. So it's now on the soothsayers to prove it does not happen. And that came from Professor Michio Kaku. So, you have that. Excuse me, I've got a drink. So you do have that to think about as well. So asking questions. There's also the great journalist in the field, Paula Harris. She's another one in the field. She's taken the military view. Linda Moulton Howe, fantastic lady. I've met her, spoken with her. She like bang, 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 question me. She's like top of her field, top notch in like animal mutilations. There's nothing, if you ever want advice, go to the source. And that lady she has a lifetime of experience. Use the resources around you. Use the people in the abduction field. Ask other abductees. Tommy, for me, has been a great resource. I mean, the gentleman's age is, people of older age is a wealth of knowledge because they've lived a longer life than you. They've been there. They know it. They know how it's done. Or you're trying to find something out. Or this works like this, but you didn't know that because they've done it before you. And it's like handing down knowledge. And he's been a wealth of information. I've looked at books. So please listen to older people in the field, listen to, go back. You can look at historical cases. I mean, we're in 2025. So people like 1970, they think that's a lot, but then they're going back to 1940s, 1930s, 1909, 1800s, going back a couple of thousand years. The evidence it leaves a trail through time. So it's just a matter of picking it up, but it's knowing who to ask. People that are in the top of their field aren't particularly young, but people do have knowledge of different ages and different experiences. But Johnny Enoch's great. He's always out there. He's always fighting the edge. I've met him. I've seen him a couple of times. I met him once at a hotel we were all staying at one of the conventions we went to. I think that's actually twice. But he's a great guy. He's someone else where you can look at. Tommy's wrote books just like me. He's got years and years and years of experience. He does it from the female side or from the children's side. So this field is not just someone's just said it. There's millions of people with a multitude of cases with a scientifically collected data that's been put into categories. And he's just hoping he's chose one of those really great categories of people to help and write books of understanding. And that's the main point. Different people have different understanding on different levels. And if you actually listen to a lot of these people and go to these events, you'll find out, actually, perhaps I was wrong. Or that's a better looking at things from a better, different perspective. Or, oh God, I didn't know that. Now I know why that happens. So there's lots of things out there. They talk about, I don't know lots about other races. I just try and focus on abductees. That's why I'm becoming a abduction specialist. I've been in the field for quite a few years now. I want to say about 8 years. So I do look at that. I've been out and spoken to abductees. Last year on the UFO, went out and looked at a case I'll be writing up and a gentleman. So and people do contact me for advice, but it's the help from the government. They can say what they want. I want our governments around the world to acknowledge this happens. They haven't got to say it to everyone, but I just want them to give the public the help that they want, need, and deserve. If you could save a child, let's say a kid comes forward at 6 years old, from being abducted again, because there's no one stopping anyone doing this. And it stops them from having their pelvis drilled about 1,000 times when they're 13 or 18 or 20. It stops them from having to have hysterectomies, and it stops the pain that these people are going through. It stops radiation burns. It stops your teeth from crumbling. It stops you from having years of blood tests and scans and people calling you a liar or what have you. Well, I don't know. Never come across it. But the government does know, and they could put people in place that could help resolve so many issues for people. That's the bit that gripes me. It's the help available for abductees. There isn't any, and there should be. Any questions, Tommy? No, you let me rant for half an hour.
Well, that was interesting and good. Why I do this show is because I believe in truth, and very few people want to hear it. I'm going to say a few things, people, right away. Uh, Tina's the only one I even trust to bring on my show and keep on my show of what she went through and what she's doing. But I've been around almost everybody out there in the UFO world. The only person I was never next to was Stephen Greer, and he's very lucky I haven't been next to him. But here's the thing, people. The truth hurts, no matter what people say. Truth's good. No, it's not. It's never as good as you want it to be. If people find out the truth about aliens, there will be no desire to have them come here and be part of this reality and think they're going to help us and all those things. Now, those people in the UFO world, I, I'm probably the most hated one out there in the UFO world. They might say they don't know me, but if they find out that I was with Sergeant 18 and all that kind of stuff, they will hate me because I'm a rebel. I don't accept very few people's stories. Now, I'm going to explain why. I've been involved with hypnosis, past life regression, abductees, and all those things all my life. It's not like it's something I just stepped into. It started at 6. But here's the thing, people. I never did this for money. I don't do it for money. I'm not trying to make money off of this. I'm just trying to get the truth out there. I was always called crazy. Now, when I was little, I look at my life totally different than Tina does. If I said something to somebody right away, you're called crazy. When I was younger, you would be put in jail if you were old enough to be put in jail for saying, or the crazy house and things. And that's why people didn't come out in those days. But I work with women that help. And they showed me the sonograms, x-rays, whatever they were called at that time. And the day after she was going to the hospital, they just said everything's healthy, the baby's healthy. She went back to the hospital the next day, there was nothing there. Hospital said you couldn't have been pregnant. And this is multiple cases of women abduction. And 3 of the women that I know had their second child taken 2 years later. So how does a person deal with that? You can't, and they don't. I didn't follow through because I moved a lot. I don't know how they survived and what they went after, but I helped them. I was doing hypnosis at the time. I started hypnosis at 14 years old. And I had my whole neighborhood hypnotized, all my friends and everything else. But I started doing past life regression and working on levels like that to see. And then I work with people with missing time, which is another thing people don't accept, that anything happened. Well, I would just fall asleep in the car. But I was dealing with lawyers, top lawyers. Even in the case I was in, the judge asked me to come talk to me after everybody left. Said he was in the car with his wife, and a light beam came over the car, and the car started floating. And that's all I remembered. But people, the truth is, they don't do anything good. Now, Tina says some people, everybody has an experience. Everybody has a programmed experience. Very few people, now this is really going to be hard to understand, have a truth of what they experience. Now, I've been dealing with past life regression. I've been dealing with near-death experiences, and all the stories they tell. They say, well, they're all very similar, because the mind can't go beyond its limitations of what it knows. If you go into another dimension and nothing's solid, how can the mind perceive that and translate it into English? It can't. Like if you stood in front of God and tried to, which I can't do, translate it to a person in English, what it is. All right. So when these people come out, I've been reading every death experience, near-death experience, all these abduction stories. Well, guess what? Nothing good happens on a spaceship. Even if a person says, well, I was healed. Healed for what? And of what? For how long? And when you go to a psychic healer, you get healed for how long and what is it? Again, it's all the mind, your mind, that gets programmed. Now, I've been trying to get Tina to do this thing about the hypnosis and have a live camera there. She wants to do the true lie detector test too as well. But I know she's not lying. I'm not worried about that at any level. It's just that breaking down the mind, because the mind is limited to what it knows. It's not going to go into describing an alien being that's a dimensional being when yourself was in a dimensional different form. Like when you have a death experience, 99.9% of everybody I listen to about death experience can't describe what really happened. I met my mother, I met my father, I met Jesus, I met God. Really? And then what? Oh, well, say go back. That's not what God would say, and it's not what happens when you go there. I had 5 death experiences. I spent half of my life leaving my body. All those things are critical because I was next to an angel. I was next to a deity. I was next to Satan. I was next to Lucifer. I mean, I've been all through those games, and they're all real, but they're not what people perceive them to be. Lucifer's not a demon, and it doesn't come down here and screw up the planet. Satan does. Well, in a certain way. He's not going around killing people either. All right, the concepts that man creates out of his own protection of ego is such a lie. Now, get into abduction. There's 3 phases of abduction. One is by aliens, one is by the government, and one is by your mind. All right. Each one of them control your desire to translate your experience. Everybody wants to know what really happened. The mind can't tell you, and the government sure will not tell you, and neither will aliens. But they do put their own feedback into it. I'm not going to say his name. He's really famous, and he claimed he's working with aliens, and they showed him past, present, and future, and videos, and all that. Everything he said didn't come true. So to take a concept of a good alien teaching us something good is delusional. All right. Now, Tesla worked with an alien race people, whether you want to believe that or not. I proved it to myself, and I proved it over and over. But so did Einstein. Einstein said in his personal notes that he worked with the entity in an invisible form. Tesla worked with an alien race in a physical form. Big difference there. Tesla came up with 200 inventions, 50 deadly weapons. Einstein came up with theories, and a lot of them are wrong. Einstein said we couldn't go backwards and forward in time, which we can, and we do. And it defeats the whole thing of what Tesla proved and what he created. So what I'm trying to say is, all these people in the UFO world claiming to be an experiencer, which we use the word, is a false concept of a good alien helping us perceive something better. If you want to help us perceive something better, help us for real. White House, taking Trump out, or doing things that would be important to the planet to save it. Now, going back to chemicals and warfare and all these things is not beneficial for the human race. It never was. But here's the thing. I'm aware of all my past lives. Back to Atlantis. Alien races came here after Atlantis was destroyed, reprogrammed humans to be killers, sacrifice people, eat animals, all those things we did not do before that. So if they're going to come here now and help us do what, people? What would a good alien help you do right now? Think about it. What would they do, considering they've been here for hundreds of thousands of years? What would they do now to help us? Considering, here's the number one thing, people, and this is a fact, you don't have to accept it. Aliens eat humans, and they have always been. All right? They don't just want body parts, they want food. And any race that goes to another planet, what do you think they want? Food and energy. All right. 2 things is all that they go to another planet for. Well, we don't need energy. The sun is our energy, and that's burning up right now. We'll get into that maybe near the end, but we're in trouble. All right. We got a government that doesn't tell you the truth about anything, and they can't. We got people like Stephen Greer trying to control Congress with his pathetic, sick, useless ideas. We're all going to become one nation. We're all going to love it. That's not going to happen. As long as people have different gods, that can't even come close to happening. So we're being pulled deeper into this UFO world that doesn't exist, and it's not going to help us. You will see if a ship lands and something happens. You'll see the difference of what people believe is going to happen. Now, what I think is ridiculous, when whistleblowers come out 25 years later, all right, and, oh, well, I saw this, and I said, well, why didn't you come out then? Well, I couldn't. Well, truth needs to be brought out when it's happening. I mean, well, I knew the earth was going to get destroyed, but I didn't want to say anything. I knew this was going to, I couldn't say anything. If something could happen. Now, Sean David Martin was a good friend of mine. He's dead. All right. He was taken out in a lot of different ways by the government. But he discovered Area 51. He had people go up there every 2-3 weeks to film and look at the mothership come down and land there. And I'm talking years ago, right, before they bought all the land around it. And they did. Once they found out he was bringing people there, they had to close that area down. But they were working with aliens for such a long time, people. And to think that, what are they doing for mankind? I mean, I'm not going to get into technology or what technical energy and what Trump wants to do with that. He wants to go back to gas. He wants to go to, oh, there's no global warming. Oh, this isn't real. Everything that can destroy the planet, he wants to bring back, which is really pathetic. All right. Now, aliens are at a certain level, and this is my perception. And I can't guarantee it's 100% real, but it's what I know and factual. They need radiation to survive. And planet Earth needs to be a lot more radioactive for alien races to live here, especially not the Greys. They live underground and they're pretty protected. But the draconians and reptilians, they have a different energy level, and they work with radiation. All right, at a much higher level. So yeah, they want the world different, and people have to understand what they're doing to the planet at a subconscious level. That these people that open to this energy allow into this world. Tesla, I mean, Einstein didn't just come up with all these ideas from blah blah going to high school or college. It was fed to him. Einstein created a lot of theories which we accepted. Over the past 25 years, they proved 10 important things. Is that you or me?
And me.
Oh, all right. 10 important things that he said are lies. As far as time travel, about the size of an object and things like that, going backwards and forwards, you get younger in time. All his theories, he couldn't prove any of them. And truthfully, right now, what we're being programmed to believe is not provable. The Big Bang Theory, who was there to see it, witness it, and tell us? Even when the hydrogen bomb went off, who actually was watching it? Who saw the things, and how come it didn't affect them? All these little things you hear. Sure, 50% of the people truly don't believe we went to the moon. A lot of people believe that the earth is flat, and they can't even get into a theory about that. Never mind alien races coming here to help us and do all these things. Well, real short, I'm not going to go into my past that great. Mine started at 6 years old. My brother and I were in the hospital having our tonsils taken out, and we were in cribs, and there was three of us in the room. My brother and this other boy was on the other side, and I was on the opposite side. All of a sudden, I see calling my name with his arms going like this, right? I jump out of the crib, run over to the window, this beam of light shooting straight at my brother. What I did, I'm 6 years old now, jumped into the beam and put my hands up on the window like this. All right? And the light stopped and the ship shot right back out into space. And I was 6 years old when that happened. No clue what was going down, no clue what really happened. But like Tina says, we have to adjust and figure out what it is later on in life and things like that. In certain ways, maybe, but for me, I knew something was wrong. I knew it was an entity. I believed in aliens all my life. I believed in ghosts, spirits. When I was little, we had a poltergeist in the house, and my mother agreed with me, and it was throwing things around the house and stuff, and that's not normal. All right, but everything that I say is true to me because I experienced it, and not just being in a dream state, doing drugs or anything like that. Now, Tina had the same experiences. When she says about, do they knock on your door and take you? No, they don't. It's not an experience. It's an abduction. Two separate words that do not go together. All right, people. Tina's becoming the #1 speaker on abduction because she knows more about it than most people. People that do books on it have no clue what really goes on because they weren't abducted. To experience something outside of something you have no imagination to fulfill with is incredibly different and hard. But she's also sick from it. And you don't hear that much about anybody talking about it. All right, because it probably wasn't real. Now, you go on a ship and you're in space, there's radiation there. Unless you're in special suits and injected with fluid to travel faster than the speed of light and all those things, it's not even possible. So, again, people, I don't listen to nobody in the UFO world. I'll debate almost any person out there. Anybody on TV is doing it for money. Richard Dolan, I challenged him. I challenged his wife. I challenged even Whitney Shriver's a nice guy. He was abducted. He should know a lot more about it. When he watched the video of the alien abduction interrogation, he started crying. I mean, he thinks they're good. They're not good, all right? And they're not going to give us good information, and they never did. So, people, this show is important if you want the truth. Tina has the inside of the ship and all that kind of information, and she doesn't know all of it. And that's why I've been trying to help her push the idea of getting this hypnosis thing done and do it live. Because, even if she has to do a GoFundMe, we need the money together to get her to do that. Because when she's on there
I've
and
done a
talk,
GoFundMe. I shared it with everybody. You can find it on Facebook, guys. I've been sharing it like mad. GoFundMe. I think it's like £100 and something pounds, 160 to £180 a go if you want like a session and you've got to talk about it just for the hypnosis. And it's like four to £5,000 just for the lie
you think
detector.
you think somebody would want to make fame instead of money? Charge a person that needs to find something about her life out. Now, there's one hypnotist. He's on my Skype thing. Claims he did 3,600 hypnosis sets, and he works with this, that, and the other thing. And I challenged him. I said, "You don't even know certain things about hypnosis. Hypnosis is dangerous, people.
Hmm.
In the wrong hands, Hitler controlled his country with it. I learned hypnosis when I was 12 years old by a hypnotist famous in the United States. His name was Kreskin. All right, he was considered the most famous hypnotist because he did it worldwide. But he did it in all the colleges and everybody knew him. But again, when I started doing it, I found the dangers in it. I mean, I became a high priest at 16, and then I was working with 30, not, there's 32 psychic abilities, but I was working with a lot of them, and they're extremely dangerous. So when, like, Richard Gowen's wife said she could levitate a piece of paper, I said, if you can levitate a piece of paper, you can levitate a car. All right. Now, people believe what they want. All right. Now, we need to find the truth behind that, not what people want to believe. Who Jesus really was, that's my new book. It'll be out next month. All right. What he did and what he didn't do. All right. So, people, if you're ready for the truth, you should tell your friends to come on the show if they got something important to say or if they want to ask a question. Tina can answer it, I can answer it. If it has to do with aliens, space, and any of that, both of us can answer your questions. Sure, not about making a pot pie or something weird. Tina might be a good cook, but I'm not. But people, I talk about what I know, all right, and what I experience. I danced all over the United States and met with so many medicine people and elders in all different tribes, and they still talk about working with the Greys. The Greys never helped them. They talk about working with Bigfoot. Bigfoot never helped them. You know, when you say something, was 50 million Native people killed. All right, 1 million was left here alive in the United States. Who did they help? What helped them? Nothing. People, if you say you're going to get help and they help me and save me, well, you're going to die. Are they going to heal you of that? Like when you go to a psychic. If I go to a psychic, I say, heal me so I don't die. That's what I would ask them. Oh, you can heal me of what? Whatever my mind thinks I have. Your mind creates your body. So whatever you get comes from your mind as well. Aliens program people to believe they were in this futuristic city and all these great things. Why? And where are they? And why would they come here? You're going to go to a beautiful civilization to caveman time to help the cavemen do what? Build a bigger fire? People, we're in a new time frame, and it's going to change in the next couple years. AI and aliens are going to change it completely. All right. Trump's doing the best he can in his own way. But here's the thing, people. We're going to be at war. All right. I can't say which country is going to be fighting, but we will be part of it. All right. We created a spaceship, people. You don't hear much about it right now, and they should be talking about it. It was supposed to be released. It cost $44 billion. It has so many of the invention Tesla invented on it. It'll be able to do just about anything. But I guess they're not going to release that because they don't want to save 8 billion people. Now, the New World Order, UN Agenda 30, has nothing about saving the poor, middle class, sick, and elderly. They don't care about those people. They want people with money in the brain and can do what they want them to do and tell them to do. Aliens are no better. They have us as puppets. People say, well, they could destroy the world if they wanted. Of course they could. And they don't, do they? but they're not helping us. You have a herd of cattle in your field. Do you teach them anything new? You're teaching them tricks. You're teaching them how to be a better cow. You're food, and we're all food. All right, but they don't need 8 billion people to eat either, and they don't want to take care of 8 billion people. Neither does the government.
Let's stop it there. We've been coming in and out. Tommy, we're losing you here. Sorry,
All right.
we're losing you. You're freezing and cutting out.
Well, that's because you're hearing it that way. I tried listening to it. It's not really cutting out, but all right. I said what I had to say for now, and I want to give it back to Tina to do the rest of the time for her book and what she needs to talk about. But it's a pleasure trying to put the truth out there for people that want to listen. Few people do, but Tina's out there mainstream now, which is helpful to get her truth out there, which is important. Because nobody out there in the UFO world is. Oh, I had a great experience. No, it's not about that. It's how many people get taken in a year, how many people disappear places, and all those things are important to humans, not to the government.
Yeah.
It's about people, and we are people, and that's what we should care about. Not what the government's going to do in space or what's going to happen out in some other galaxy. It's what's happening to our food, happening to our living conditions, and how we respect each other. That's all that matters, people. Not a super robot. Now, Musk says his robot's going to be able to cook dinner for you, and you can come home to a cooked dinner from a robot. Is that what you want? All right, here's Tina again. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. So, guys, please come on the show. Tommy's going to put his email up now. I think it's hawksblood1@aol.com. Just to recap, so here in the UK, we have a lovely panel of people from around the globe. Brewery Hall, Pusey, Wiltshire. It's 12th to 14th of December 2025. To get your tickets, go to basistv.org. Come and see us. Come and listen. Come and get your experience. Speak to people. If you want to start somewhere, that's a great place to start. Go to the next UFO meeting in your area or go to an event like that. For me, I'm Tina Bird. You can find me on TA Bird. That's me there. I've got a new logo, new merchandise. There we go, guys. TA Bird, international author. My email's on the screen. It's t.a.bird@hotmail.com. I have my book. You can get this book. There you go. I signed a load of these for people. Send them out. The Truth About Alien Abduction by me, Tina Bird. And there's one of my other books. There is The Guardians of Light and the Brotherhood of the Night. Really, that's a fantasy book, fantastic book. So you can get this, guys. You can get it on Amazon, Amazon Books, obviously, Amazon Kindle, Amazon Unlimited. If you get it on Amazon Unlimited, it's free. You can get the book for free. And I also got an audio version of that out. You can buy that too on the audio on there. But for me, for Tina Bird, I'm here. You'll find me next week with lots more information. Hopefully, we should have some images for 3-Eye Atlas, so that we should have more of a conclusion and a better picture built for next week. Like Tommy says, his new book's coming out next month, so please look out for that. But until then, you've been a great audience, and yeah, guys, keep looking up. And again, email us for anything. And I'll see you all next week. Tommy, till next week, my friend. I'll speak to you later. Look at his t-shirt. That's phenomenal, isn't it? It says it all. That's brilliant.
So, Tina, it's always a pleasure.
Tommy. All right, see you next week, guys.
Stay safe, Tina.
Until then, and you. Bye-bye.
All right, Tina Bird, great person. I trust her in the UFO world more than anybody else out there in it. Now, getting back to a couple of important things. We're in trouble, all right? In many different ways. We could be at war real soon. We're going to be going into a depression. Who knows how bad that's really going to get. But if you're into gold, guess what? It's the highest it has ever been. It's like 4,250. I'm not saying sell your gold, because gold goes up and down. It never disappears, but it goes up and down. And sometimes it's years in between the up and down. So you can sell it and get lots of money right now. Or hold on, it might get a little more valuable. If we go into war, But remember, there was a time in history, I'm trying to think what year it was, they took gold from people. Don't ask me how the government could go around and take gold from everybody, but they tried to, and they did take it from people. So are aliens going to help us, really? I mean, if they put a gold brick in front of everybody's house, you think that would help the world? Might change things, but would it make it better? Trump Musk site, all his sites, and a couple other people now are giving away $100,000 and cars and everything. But a lot of it, 99% of it's fake, people. I was roped into it, and I'm trying to get my money back from my iPhone card, my Apple card, whatever. People, even Musk is talking about the ship. He thinks there's a civilization inside Mars. He's got a lot of twisted ideas, which is why I want to talk to him. All right. And he really thinks that they would want him on Mars? Is he going to take his whole family? All 14 kids and his 3 ex-wives? I mean, what's he going to do, really? People, you're on planet Earth. You're on this planet for a reason, but not the reason you think you're here for. I'm not going to save the world. Nobody saved the world, ever. Well, the story of Noah's Ark and stuff, he saved animals, not the world. People, guess what? Who's going to save this planet in the near future? I don't even want to save it. I wouldn't save it if I could. Sorry to say that. Mankind's destroying everything, taking away the lives of animals and creatures, and it's doing nothing beneficial to anybody except the rich people. Now, they'll be sorry. I'm going to say this on this show, which I probably never did. My new book is about Jesus, but again, he never said he was God, but he did say, and he said it 3 times in the Bible alone, meaning he said it outside of the Bible. It's easier for a camel to go through an eye of a needle than a rich person to get into heaven. Why would he say that? Do you have any clue what would that mean? I put it to Musk, I put it to Oprah, I put it to a lot of people many times over and over. I tried for 22 years to talk to Oprah. She wouldn't reply to me. Dr. Phil, I almost got on his show, but I turned that down. But I wanted to get on Oprah, to talk to Oprah. She has so much money and she thinks she's so spiritual and has no karma. People get programmed by people like, I'm not going to say their names, I don't want to give them credit for being who and what they think they are. Super spiritual beings. Type the top most spiritual beings on the planet. Deepak Chopra, Eckhart Tolle, and neither one of them can talk about a God. I can. And I challenge them all the time. I did like 5 21-day workshops with Deepak Chopra and realized he doesn't know what he's talking about. Eckhart Tolle has no clue to anything. Oprah asked him what death is, and he goes, I know my mother died or his father died, and that's all he could say about it. You want to know the truth about that? Read my books, people. I talk about life after this world, not here, because we're not here to stay here. And we're not supposed to reincarnate 1 billion times. We don't have to. But as long as you're stuck here and believe that this is important, you'll never leave. Multiple reasons. We're much more spiritual than they ever will be. And they're reincarnating into humans, just so you know. And we have so many people coming out saying, well, I'm a walk-in, or I'm an alien, I was an alien, and all those things. I was an alien in my first incarnation into this lower world. My second incarnation was into Atlantis. So, we came from a lot of other places. Now, 9 races were brought to this planet. Only 4 stayed, 5 left. All right. And they were brought by a being, and it was Thoth, not the storybook Thoth either. All right. There's truth in a lot of things, but very little. And you have to pull that out like a weed in your garden, because the weeds grow faster than the plants do, and they like to strangle them and take them out so they can grow. And that's what's happening to the world right now. Satan's winning. He's creating people that love drugs, love all these things, abuse, and all that. And the other thing that keeps this world going is sports and cheap thrills. The idea of coming close to death. All right. And sports is the ego builder. Now, you can fit into any of them. I never played sports. I played sports very short, like a week, because somebody always got hurt and things like that. I realized that's not where to go. I found myself really hard living in this world because all my experiences, I didn't get into any of them. I was a foot away from a Bigfoot standing in back of me. All right. A ship landed in my yard and the alien came in my house. And my friend was staying over for the first time, and we grabbed the bat and the stick and everything and chased it out of the house and watched the ship leave. All right. We both weren't doing the same drug and the same whatever and all that. People, things are much more real than you want to believe. Missing time is critical. Well, I was sitting in a chair and it was 4 hours later. Sleep is one thing. All right. But then remembering a few little things that were not normal or not right. But like two people in a car have missing time, 4 hours, 6 hours, not normal. I can't lecture anymore because people don't want to hear the truth. And people lecturing don't like the idea that I would attack them. I'm going to attack them by saying their stuff is a lie. Aliens are not good. Never did good things for any humans on this planet. Now, I can go into a bunch more stuff, like there's an alien city that used to be here. A gray city underground. All the artifacts are there. And they're pulling hundreds and hundreds out. And it wasn't like somebody carved something and put it in the ground. It had the history of alien life and things as well. But a friend of mine buys a lot of that stuff, has the money to do it, has a little museum. One person goes around the United States showing the artifacts, the ones that he can carry, the little ones, not the big pieces. So there's much more to what's going on, what happened, and what is really going to happen. But I'll tell you this, it's not going to be good for the average human. Rich people have underground cities and houses already to go to. All right. Jesse Ventura was one of the most important whistleblowers because he proved it years ago. All right. He proved it the second he found out it was a lie. He did his show every week, and they went after different topics every week. He wanted to prove it was wrong, but he also proved that they were right. He proved FEMA camps. He proved in the HARP system. He proved in a lot of different things, people. Underground cities, you name it, where the home base in the New World Order is. But all that was taken off right away. And right in the middle of his third year, they took him off the TV. I said, well, we can't let him say any more. He said enough. The government likes to let little bits of truth out because then people don't really believe it. But if there's too much truth proving something, then people will believe it. And they sure don't want that to happen. I will challenge anybody in the UFO world. The person I would love to debate live in front of the world is Stephen Greer. He's feeding more lies and lies every time he gives his stupid lecture. Now, he's a person, like a lot of the people in the UFO world, they read and listen to other people's stories, like Tina said, but they add it to their experience. Stephen Greer's story goes like this. Oh, all aliens are good. Oh, they're not here to hurt us. The government's doing all alien programming. He goes up and down. And then he said he was fighting with an alien. And he adds it every year. He adds a little more to his story to make himself bigger and greater and better. I would love to face him live on or off the air, like on Skype even, something like that. But he doesn't have any balls, so I guess he can't get anywhere important outside of the lies. He will never deal with the truth. He thinks we're going to be one beautiful world and happy and all that. We were that. Aliens destroyed that many, many years ago. All right. Now Satan rules this planet, and God allows it for a reason. Why are you here? Why would aliens come to this planet outside of food? All right, body parts, and the alien race almost died, and that's why they started cloning humans with their creatures. And guess what? The United States government has been cloning greys a long time ago, and there's one reason why. When the world becomes radioactive, all the underground cities will be underground. I mean, they won't have to worry about it, but they will get the greys to go out and do the work to make it better, fix it up, and eventually come back out. But that's might not even happen. If we go blow up the planet, there won't be anything here to take care of or use or do. But please send this link to everybody you know, whether you think they'll like it or not. Let them decide if they could even listen to any part of the truth or not. They want to listen to lies about good aliens coming and blah, blah, blah. Musk going on about this big city inside Mars, and it could be bad, it could be good. He doesn't know. Of course, he doesn't know. He doesn't know anything about aliens. All right, people. Peace, love, compassion. Whatever you want in your life, enjoy it the best you can for as long as you can. If you can find something that makes you happy, do it, because you're not going to get happiness in the near future. All right? And as long as you can do something you like, do it, because that could be taken away from you very simply. I mean, I got so many things I want to do, but I feel it's much more important writing letters to Trump, writing letters to Musk, putting the truth out there the best I can, and dealing with the stuff that's happening. Waking people up. Now, the 18th is going to be a critical day for the Democrats. No King Day, all right? It's going to be all across the United States, probably parts of the world as well. All right? Get involved. If you care about what's going to happen, don't sit back. And, people get voted in because people that say everything's okay don't care to find out the truth or even want to get bothered. Or, don't worry, they can't do that. Well, Trump said he would be a dictator on day one, which he is. But he said it straight out to everybody. He didn't lie about that. That's probably the only lie he didn't lie about. People, the Epstein case needs to be brought out in detail. Trump needs to be taken out and removed. Seriously. Before the planet is destroyed, before we blow it to pieces. Now, as of this week, his tariffs go into effect in the United States. Car dealers are complaining how high the prices went up in the past week because they initiated the tariffs already. We're in trouble. Food, water is all contaminated. We don't need inspectors no more to inspect anything. We don't need people to worry about what we're doing out there. Well, we're in trouble. Whether you want to look at it or not, live in La La Land, oh, everything's going to be okay. I'll pray. Prayer is nothing without action. I'm not going to go into that. But the medicine one I studied with said, do something locally and do something worldwide. Obviously, you can do a lot more locally than you can do worldwide. But be involved. Be involved with life and what's happening. And look if it's going to benefit the world or not. Is it really helping people? Taking money away from the poor people is not going to help anybody. The rich do not need money from the poor people. But they don't want to pay for anything, so they let the poor people pay for everything. It's a pathetic system we got set up. The Constitution was created, which was stolen mostly from the native people, really, for real. All right? And then what did the government do? Outlaw them from the Constitution. Native people were considered government property. They couldn't even own a house and things. They weren't allowed electricity. They weren't allowed a lot of things. They weren't allowed to pray for the longest time. And children were put in Catholic prison camps up until until the early 20s and 30s, into the 30s. The same as women weren't allowed to vote. Really? Man's ego is pathetic, and it grew over the past 200,000 years. All right? So, people, think about what you're doing in life, what you want to attain in life, and don't think about helping the world. You can only help yourself. And that's to become aware of who and what you are so that when you die, you have somewhere to go. For real. Nothing else matters. You can have 100 children, 100 houses, 100 boats. It's not going to help you become spiritual. You can have $10 billion. You could be a trillionaire. It's not going to help you find God. Sorry, people, we're in trouble every which way. There's over 2,000 religions, and only 2 that I know have any truth about God, and they're not Christianity, Muslims, Hinduism. No. All right, which have the biggest following on the planet. And they're all dealing with twisted stories. So add aliens into that, and you get further into a deep hole going nowhere. With that, have a good day. Try and enjoy it. Do something constructive for yourself. Make yourself be happy. Find a hobby. Find things. And if you got children, help them grow in a good way. And don't take away their toys. Don't make them, but don't let them play on a computer all day either. Give them a short period of time because the computer will control us all in the near future. People, I love children and I feel bad what we're doing to the world to make them suffer. And people want to bring more and more children in. Why? We go to war. Guess who goes to war? The young children go to war. Vietnam, they were sending children 14 years old and we were shooting them down. People, we're a sick race. Not just the United States, Russia, Germany. All right. China is pretty pathetic. Religions are really pathetic. Muslims, the Hasidic Jews, what they do to their women. Respect is lost. There is no respect on this planet. All right, people. I'm sure you get bored with the truth, but enjoy your day anyway. You heard it here first, and if you know anybody with balls to challenge me on anything, please, I'll love it. Anybody know Stephen Greer? Tell him I'm out for him. Anywhere, anytime, live, offline, whatever, but he doesn't have the balls to do that. Richard Dolan, after a year and a half being on his show, never got back to me. Skinwalker Ranch, not one of those people ever got back to me after a year and a half, and I was paying them money. I decided, why should I pay them money if they can't even reply to an email? With that, people, look who you follow. And even Buddhism is having a serious problem now. Sexual perversion is growing in Christianity and Buddhism in almost every field. So with that, think about where you're going and why. Tommy Hawksblood, calling from Big Island, Hawaii, and there's crazy stuff going on here as well. Till next time, next week, I'm going to try and do a spiritual show in the next couple of days on spiritualism, truth, and things that most people can't talk about or won't talk about. So, any questions, please email me, hawksblood1AOL.com. Till tomorrow, maybe the next day, I don't know. It depends if I get free time. I'm doing so much stuff, going through a lot of body problems. So is Tina. She was really sick, and she did her show. People, we do it to help bring the truth out, not to make money, not to become famous. But I'm glad she is, because her story needs to be told, and people need to hear it. All right. I can go on, but I'm not. Bye-bye. Peace, love, compassion, whatever you need in your life. Don't stop until you get it.